Good day, good day, good day, or should I say good morning. So we are going to be doing a tour and a little bit of a workday video for my Zone 9B garden this morning. So I hope you all will join me. This is a little bit of a long video. I thought about splitting it in two, but when I do that, sometimes things just get kicked to the curb. So I decided that I was going to just do it all in kind of one go. So you all have to let me know if you're down with the long videos or if you want it short and sweet, because it's kind of all about you all, but I'm just going to leave it there. So first of all, I'm just getting started with a cup of coffee. Y'all love this mug. It says love, peace, and hair grease. And if you want a mug like this, you can go to pleasantcreations.com. I have plenty of mugs there as well. And so I decided to do a bit of work today, and it's a good thing that I did, because by the time that I'm doing this voiceover, it is dark and thundering, which you may hear, and pouring down raining. So I'm glad I did the majority of my work this morning, but I still wanted to kind of bring you all along so that you can see exactly what I do. Now, I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just pulling Sandy out of the garage. Sandy is my Prius, y'all. So yes, I know my garage is a hot mess, but y'all, that's my business. Y'all stay out of my business, okay? I was trying to make my spot on my little workbench here, because I usually just throw stuff on there until I get ready to work. I just need a little corner, and so I'm just getting that together so we can get started with our day. So here are some starts that I started, y'all. I made these little toilet paper roll containers for my starts, and they work out just perfectly. So if you're interested in seeing something like this, then you have to let me know, and I'll do a little video on it. But I did this a few days ago, and I put a few different starts in here. Now, I was determined not to do starts at all for the growing season, but I changed my mind because I figure I can start things out until I figure out where they're going to go to. And so that's what this is about. And so I just have it on my front porch, and I put it in shade where it will basically not, sear in the 5,000 Kelvin sun. So here are my kale plants, y'all. They are looking lovely. I haven't watered them yet, because every time I watered them, they look terrible when I put them on camera. But y'all, look at this. Look at this. They are just so lovely. That's my kale over here. I mean, that was my Swiss chard, but we had the kale and Swiss chard. Now, here's something that you all haven't seen. This is a Meyer lemon plant, and it was gifted to me. I got 2 of them. They were actually in some bad shape, but I also wanted to show you, I'm doing a little bit of experiment in my front yard. I think this is part of my garden too. I put some old grass seeds down because my yard looks terrible, and I just put some hay over the top to keep things moist while the grass is growing. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but y'all know. She tried it. And here is the other lemon tree. Y'all, when I got these trees, they were full of snails, and they had a whole bunch of dead branches, and they were still in the original buckets from when they came from the store. So I potted them up, cleaned them up a bit, and they still need a bit more work, but we're going to get it going. So I also have these sticks that I have to take to the back, and that came from a tree that I cut down. I wish I would have kept more, because y'all know I'm finding that kind of stuff very handy. So here is the bucket garden, and the marigolds are looking quite lovely now, aren't they? They perked up quite nicely, and they do have a little bit of leaf minor damage on there, so I'm just going to pull that leaf off. And the peppers, they're growing kind of slowly. I don't think they like the dirt that they're in, which is a non-amended sandy Florida dirt. And also, I know I keep moving this thing around, but it is in its final spot. I have it all connected together and it's very, very sturdy. So that's the TP garden. So you'll start seeing things pop up in there soon. This is a melon plant, and you can see it has a little bulb. Not a bulb, but a flower. So it's ready to start producing already, even though they're quite small, and I'm surprised. So I don't know if it's because I have like 4 in that bucket or what. I don't know. You know, something took a dookie on my plant. I don't appreciate that. Probably was a bird, because it is some twigs in there. So I got a twig TP there. Those are my Chinese long beans, and I think they're going to be really taking off pretty soon. And then we have the zucchini, and I've already got just 2 zucchinis off of here, but it is producing quite a few more. But the problem is, when I come out in the morning, like, the flowers are closed, even though I come out early. So I don't think some of the flowers are opening up. And I don't know if some of those got, if they actually got pollinated or not. And I'm working on trying to get those leaves back to their right color. I'm doing a bit of an experiment, so we'll see how it works. So here we just have some borage and some basil, and this right here is a contender bean plant, and inside of there is Thomas. I named him Thomas, y'all. So Thomas is protecting the contenders, and here, can y'all see in the back there, it's like a little bloom, and this is one of my store-bought, or should I say that I got the seeds from a store-bought pepper. These are bell pepper plants. It's either red or yellow. I don't know which one. We shall see. And in here I have a cosmos that's coming up. Y'all, I don't know, but I think the seeds moved around in here as I watered this plant. And that's Durin. I named him Durin. And so all the seeds are coming up on one side, but I'm still being patient. And inside this bucket is my potato plant. And it is coming up, or potatoes. So I need to start putting some more dirt on top of here. So, of course, I didn't get to do that before the rain came in. I didn't even know it was going to rain. It was so sunny this morning. And then, y'all, look at this. Look at this. We got a zucchini. But that's the only zucchini on here. I did find another zucchini on this plant, but I think the flower fell off. So you can see it right there. Or I don't even think a flower developed on there, because I would have seen it. Because, y'all, I am always out in this garden, and I am always checking things out, because I'm always down for the threesome. But I'm never getting it with that plant. And then we have the watermelons. And, y'all, what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a walkthrough. Because in the morning, that's what I do. I get up early. I do a walkthrough before I do anything to figure out what I'm going to do. So you all are on the walkthrough with me, basically. So this is the okra plant. And the okra was getting hit hard by the ants and the aphids yesterday. So I sprayed them all off, and I actually sprayed this plant with some Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. And this morning, no ants. Yay. So that worked out. And so I'll put a link to that. I got it on Amazon. And again, it's Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. And you want to get the concentrate so that you can kind of whip it up yourself. And then here in the nursery, we have our lovely tomato plants, which I was planning on trying to get planted out this weekend. So maybe tomorrow I'll get those done. And y'all, look, we have a blushing tomato. It's more than blushing now. But those are the only tomatoes on this plant, but they have lots of blooms. So we'll see if we get more tomatoes. That's a husky red tomato plant. And then here is another one of my okra plants, and it was getting hit kind of hard with the aphids and the ants as well. And I sprayed that yesterday also. So we are good to go. And that's Victor. I named him Victor. Victor, my little gnome. And this is my melon plant. Y'all, this one, I planted these all at the same time, and depending on where they're planted, this one is the one that is doing the best, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think all the potting mixes are the same, so it's kind of weird. They're all in full sun except for the ones that are in the I Want to Live garden in the back. And then look at my sunflowers. It's a sad sight, these sunflowers. I'm going to leave the heads on these so that the seeds will develop more because it's still alive. And this is a zinnia. I am excited. The zinnias are about to pop open, I think. I've never had a zinnia before, so I'm not exactly sure, but they look like they want to smile at me. They want to smile at me, people. So down here in my sunflower patch, y'all look at these leaves on my sunflower. I don't know what's going on with the sunflower plants, but the leaves are just horrendous. And I think these sunflowers are they're kind of dying off. I have more sunflowers and flowers coming up, so I'm okay with that. They are still blooming, and later on in this video, I'm going to do some additional staking, even though, I am taking some measures to revive this plant. It doesn't have a do not resuscitate on file, so I'm going to keep working on these plants until, the wheels fall off, basically. Because, I think sometimes we give up too easily on our plants, and we say, oh, that's it. We're just going to throw them away. Now, this is a Rondinese squash plant, and y'all, I got to get this out of this pot because I didn't really realize that this is going to grow like the other squash plants, and it's going to get humongous. So I got to ASAP get those out of there, and I have a plan for that. And then here's one of my ginormous marigold plants, and it's looking quite lovely. My banana pepper plant. Y'all, it was so happy to get out from under that other marigold plant. You have no idea. It's just beautiful. And this is on my cowpeas, and you can see it has some wonderful blooms. And also, y'all, these leaf miners, they leave a lovely pattern on your leaves, but they don't belong, so that one has to go. He's getting the boot. I'm kicking it. And here's some more blooms on my cowpea. So these are getting ready to start producing. Now this is my cucumber plant. It started out so good, and my friend told me not to give up on it. So Sherry, this is for you. Sherry told me not to give up on this plant. She says, keep picking those bitter cucumbers off. And so that's what I'm going to do. But there's no cucumbers right now. And here's another one of my two of my ginormous marigold plants, but there's something going on with the leaves on this one too. So I have to research that because I don't know. I do a lot of research on my plant, y'all. We got the bunching onions, that little teeny tiny bunch, and that's a peppermint plant right there. And this other little thing, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna leave it in there. And then here are my Walking Dead husky red tomato plants. I call them my Walking Dead because, y'all, they're just, like the fungus is just whatever it is coming up on these plants, and it's going crazy. Here's another cucumber plant that's a smaller one. Oh, that was quick, wasn't it? Y'all, look at this. Aphids all over my eggplant. They must have been like harvesting those aphids or moving them around for a few days. So you have to really look up under your leaves, which I don't think I've been doing on this plant. And so I'm going to have to get those off. So you'll see me getting these off later on in this video when we get to my work detail part of the video, and not so much my little walkthrough. This is how my morning walkthroughs go, because I just kind of take note of things that need immediate action, which is the aphids. And before I even do any watering, I just go through and say good morning to everybody, because y'all, they're like my friends. You know what I'm saying? Bobby said that to me before I even started gardening. She was saying how her garden was like her friends, and I get it. It's not really like your babies, it's like your friends, y'all. And so this is my friendly bell pepper plant, And y'all, look, there's a little bell pepper. I didn't even see this until I recorded this. So it's like little bell peppers are popping up all over this plant. I've already harvested quite a few. And I did get this plant from Lowe's, but it is awesome. And the rest of the bell pepper plants I actually got those. I did those from seeds. And here I'm going to insert the carrots that I finally took out of this bucket, and they were fantastic. And I still have some beets in there. And y'all, this is my, I guess it's a Walking Dead cucumber plant as well. But you know, you win some, you lose some on stuff like this. So yeah, the cucumber plant, I don't know how much longer it's going to last. The summertime took it out pretty quickly, but I'm okay with that. Now this is in the I Want to Live ICU here, and this cucumber plant was actually doing good, and I came and looked at it this morning, and y'all look at the top leaves. The top leaves are just decimated. So something came in and chowed down. I'm pretty sure it's an insect and not an animal per se with 4 legs. It might have 4 legs and a few extras. And even this plant had some chewing on it. So I was going to do a treatment of the dead bug brood, but since it rained, I won't be able to do that until maybe tomorrow if it doesn't rain. Y'all, I love how I stored those hoses, and I thought I would show y'all. And then on this side of my house, this is the other side, I am going to put my tomatoes on this side, I think. Because I'm going to try to save all of the transplants that I did, and I promised one of the tomato plants to my neighbor as well. And you can see here, I got some more hoses on this side. And y'all, I had my original garden from like 6 years was on this side ago. It had like 3 buckets. I gave up on that garden really quickly. So this is my first successful garden. So y'all look at my wonderful little watermelons. So as I was going through my initial walkthrough, I noticed that I had like a baby watermelon that was growing. So I decided to do a little threesome. So when you guys hear me say threesome, I'm just talking about pollination. Don't get it twisted. It's pollination. So there's a little mama plant. And so I'm going to take my Q-tip. I have to get it out of my pocket here. And just a regular Q-tip. And this seems to have been working for me. And I'm going to take it and just rub it all over this dude here. And just get as much pollen off as I can. Which I find with this sugar baby watermelon is not that easy. So I just have to keep on kind of digging in there as much as I can. And I'm trying to be a little bit gentle, but I have to be rough with the dude in order to get the pollen off of it. So I do that a few times. And if everything is open tomorrow, then I'll do it again. So hopefully that didn't get washed off. Because it was pretty early when I did this, but I don't know if it had closed up by the time I left out the garden. I was out there for a few hours. So the next thing that I do in the mornings is I go through and check to see who needs water. So I'm not one of those people that just turn the hose on and just water everything. I actually check to see which plant needs water. And I think that's been working out for me. I still think sometimes I overwater a little bit. Sometimes I use my little meter, which I'll put in the description as well, the one that I use, to tell me if it's like dry or if it's like medium wet or like oversaturated. So usually if I water it, it's almost dry or it is dry. And so I just go through and I do this with each and every plant. And I normally use my hose as well, but I have quite a few buckets that are full of water because I was doing a project yesterday and I had a lot of water left over. So instead of dumping that water on the ground, I decided to just house those in some buckets throughout the garden. So I decided to use that water instead of using the water from, the hose, the city water, which makes perfect sense to me. A lot of people think that having a garden like this, you will use like tons of water and it's going to make your water bill.
I know, I've been wanting to start one.
It actually doesn't. So
because it's so shaded in the back, so I just started here on the side. And I talked to my neighbor, and he said, "Oh, go ahead." He said, "You can use the whole thing if you wanted to." Yeah, because he doesn't even do anything.
So that's all your herbs, it looks like, huh?
Well, it's actually it ended up kind of being a little bit of a nursery.
Yeah.
So I have like tomatoes in here, and
okay.
I do have like a few herbs in here, some peppermint and chamomile and stuff. And,
okay, and then you just use a little buckets, like stray buckets. Okay.
Yeah. I use anything I could find, and I found some stuff on the side of the road yesterday, so I'll be using that. My brother had some stuff, so once you tell people you garden, you'll get things.
Okay. Okay, and then you have a little thing for the shade.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have like beans on there, and watermelons are growing on the side there. And
yeah, that's it. Is that cucumber?
This is zucchini.
Zucchini.
And I have the yellow squash right there.
Oh, okay.
And these are okra plants.
Okay.
So I have some okra plants over here as well. And then back here I have sunflowers. I got some melons growing up here.
Sunflowers, see?
And bell peppers, marigold plants, and eggplant. This was cucumbers, but cucumbers don't like to eat.
Okay.
I think they're kind of shy. I got some bell pepper plants back here as well. Got a few things in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother and his wife had a little garden, like probably about from there to up to here, where they live in the pocket beside.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Spanish host out of chili peppers. Yeah. You like that,
Pretty. So what's your name?
Oh, Susie.
Susie. My name's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Oh, that's my sister-in-law's name. Elizabeth.
And what's your name?
Stevie.
Stevie. Okay.
Yeah,
Susie.
Stevie.
So when I see you walking down the street,
I know. Yeah. Yeah. It's so fun because we were walking. I was walking with the oldest one. She. Oh my gosh, Mom! I think she's gonna turn over here going.
Yep. It started out with 3 little buckets. It was like this bucket right here, and then I had like 3 others, and that was it. And then I just kept adding.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
she's crazy.
Yeah, she's a vegan. My oldest daughter does vegan stuff, and I'm almost there. I'm getting pretty good.
Yeah, I eat mostly. I try to eat a lot of vegan, but I'm mostly vegetarian.
Yeah. I'll have eggs every now and then. That's about really the only thing left that I'll eat once in a while because I've got the cholesterol problem. Yeah, that is so cool. Well, thank you for showing me that. That gave me some inspiration.
If you have any questions, let me know. I call myself a baby gardener. I'm a baby gardener, so.
Baby gardener, that is so cool. Yeah, that's neat. I like that.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah, I like this going. Thank you. There's something on there too. Yeah.
Getting it going.
Yeah. Thank you. Happy 4th.
Thank you.
So y'all, that was kind of cool, wasn't it? So I always see Susie when she's walking her dog, and we usually just wave at each other. And this time she actually stopped and she was like, "Hey, do you have a garden back there?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Come on over." So I invited her into my garden, which some people would say, "Don't do that. Don't show people your stuff." But there was actually this other guy as well. So I'm over here minding my own business. But I guess he saw Susie over there, and he stopped his car and started just looking at me. I don't know I think he was looking at the garden, not me. And I just waved at him because I did see him staring, and he waved back, and then he went on about his business. He's one of my neighbors too. He lives down the street. And so I guess the garden has become a conversational piece. Who'd have knew? Who'd have knew? So y'all, I'm just continuing to just go through the garden. And I did, y'all, even though I sped this up, I probably should have cut a little bit more of this out. But I just wanted to say, like I said, usually I use my hose when I go through here. So it's a little bit faster. But even though I think the garden is kind of small, it still takes me probably about I would say about 30 minutes, because I always do my walkthrough like I showed you all in the beginning, just so I can get that mental note of the priorities and the things, and then I go through and figure out which plants actually need to be watered, because I just don't just water willy-nilly. And I'm not a perfectionist by any means, but I want to make sure that I don't kill the plants inadvertently, because I think a lot of us baby gardeners, we want to give our plants water, and Bobby showed me how to like stick my finger in the dirt and just figure out if it's wet or not, but that didn't really work for me. I felt like I just wasn't getting it, and that's why I got like the little water meter that you see me carrying through here, and I just stick it in the ground. I've showed it before on some other videos, but if y'all would like a really short video on that, I will shall do it for you. So just leave it down in the comments. So how long does it take for you to water your garden? Let me know. Does it take you all this long? And this is actually not one of my favorite chores to do in the garden. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I know I have to go out and water the garden. It's not my favorite thing, but I know it needs to be done, and that's usually what gets me out the bed. So now I am just going to town on these aphids, and y'all, this plant was just covered with the aphids, and I've seen people use like spray bottles to get the aphids off, but this infestation was a little bit big, so I knew my little spray bottle wasn't gonna do anything. So I wanted to make sure they was all drowned in it and off my plant. But I know I'm gonna have to spray this plant, because with my okra, the same thing was happening. Every day I would have to wash them off, and the ants were just farming them on like crazy. If you all know a better way to kind of get rid of the aphids, I know you can't get rid of them altogether, but kind of slow them down, let me know. And so I'm going to spray this plant with some dead bug brew when I get a chance, but probably in the next few days I won't be able to. So now I'm watering the sunflower garden, because I usually don't check to see if this needs water. And y'all know what? I'm just thinking about this too. I went through and watered everything, and it's raining. So my plants are kind of overwatered today, but you can never tell here. Sometimes it's just like cloudy and it doesn't rain. But today it was sunny and it rained. So I put my watermelon in some hammocks. So I did that today as well. Y'all did a lot of stuff today. And like I said, I'm not a whippersnapper, so y'all, I be tired when I come out from the garden. This is like work for me. It's good exercise. And now I'm using some stakes, and I'm staking some of my sunflowers, even though they look horrendous.
Hey
and I'm
y'all,
just taking up
I'm
this
going
hideous
to be
trellis that I had
doing
here.
a bit of an experiment,
Check this
and I'm going to try to propagate my marigold plants. You can see this one is a ginormous, and even though the leaves are kind of wilted, it just needed some water. But I'm going to use this plant to propagate off. Look at all of the blooms that are on here, which is quite cool indeed. And so I kind of figured this out on my own, that you could do this, because we had a big rainstorm and some plants fell over it. And I noticed, can you see that in there? Past all this garbage in here, there are like root nodes all on the stems. So that means I think I can I know I can stick these in dirt, because I've done that in the bucket garden. So I'm going to cut off some of these, and I'm just going to stick them in some dirt, and we're going to see what happens.
So I found a few stems to cut off, and I didn't really pay attention. Well, I did pay attention. I just didn't care if it had some blooms on it, because I wanted to experiment, which is my MO, and see if the blooms would still stay on there or whatnot. We'll see. So the soil that I'm going to put this in is all amended. I actually had some leftover soil from yesterday, because I did potted up those lemon trees. And so all I had to do was stick some holes in the bottom of that container, and I put this in a shady spot, which is recommended for a few days, and then we'll put it back out. So you can see here, this is some marigolds that I actually put into this little garden here, and they are doing quite well. At first they looked like they were gonna die, and they came right back. Now I wanted to show you all this. I keep calling this a retractable hose, but it's an expandable hose, and I'll put a link in the description below. Y'all watch this. Watch what happens. I have this sped up, but all I'm doing is just taking the water out of the hose by just holding it down. I put the water in that blue bucket, and look, it just stores in this little pot with like no problem. I put the whole thing in there and I put it away so the sun won't eat it up. So that's kind of cool. So now I am doing police call. So anybody that's been in the military knows what police call is. That's when you're policing up the area and getting all the trash and stuff up off the ground, because we're trying to keep this place relatively neat. And the TP garden is in place, and I actually did some more work on that, and you'll see some photos of that in a moment. But everything is actually going really well. I do have a lot of issues with like yellowing leaves, so I'm still doing tons of research, because y'all, that's what you have to do. You just have to do research and just try stuff. And I mean, it's a plant. It's Mother Nature will take care of it. If it's supposed to conk out, it's gonna conk out. But I'm gonna try to save as many of the plants as I can. So here is where I mixed some dirt today. I put some holes and some bigger holes in the bottom of these containers because the holes were just too small. And then I reattached those to my TP garden. And you can see I have my my dirt here. I did it like in assembly line fashion, so I had all my dirt together there. So that's where I put the dirt back into those. Y'all, I am tired. So there was lots of things that y'all didn't see me do today. I had to come in where it's nice and cool. I still have to go out and do a bit of cleanup in my garage so I can put Sandy back in. Sandy is the name of my car, y'all. And all of this is beads of sweat. I'm still sweating like crazy. So I got a lot of things done that were on my checklist, because y'all, I actually have a checklist, and one day I'll show you what it looks like. My coffee mug is empty. Yeah. Y'all, I love this mug. If y'all want a mug like this, it says love, peace, and hair grease. You can get those at pleasantcreations.com. But I still have, I mixed up lots of dirt today, so I'm going to fill some of my 5-gallon containers out so that I can start putting my tomatoes in. And I actually talked to my neighbor that's on the other side of the garden, and she has a little bit of a garden and she wanted to go on vacation. And she asked me, she says, if I put my vegetables and stuff out here on this side, would you water them for me? I was like, hell yeah, I'll water them for you. I'll take care of them for you while you're gone. So that's not up, but she said that they may not go on vacation, because y'all know times are hard for vacationing right now. But of course I agreed to actually help. I mean, why not? You could do that for your neighbors and stuff, and then, you know, if I encroach over on their side a little bit, maybe they won't say too much. Because I'm actually going to put my tomatoes on that side of the house anyway, so I'll be going back and forth over there. So I am going to take a little bit of a break and watch me a few YouTube videos. I wanted to do some more research, and I'll probably go back out later on today, because although it's hot outside, it is actually not as hot as it has been. So I got out there early, probably around 7:30 this morning, and I got quite a bit of stuff done. So as you saw in the video, I'm not gonna go back over that. So please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Remember that we cover 2 channels here. I keep saying 2 channels. Remember that we cover 2 different zones, growing zones. One is 5B, which is Bobby's garden, and she always does a garden tour and some extras sometimes during the week. And also my garden, which is 9B. And give this video a thumbs up, y'all. A thumbs up will help us a lot. We're a very new channel, and we are baby gardeners, and any constructive criticisms that you all give us is greatly appreciated as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and shove off, and you go have a beautiful growing day. Bye.